lights and make sure that Simon is happy with the lights, because lighting, photography, here you go. Whoa, that might be a bit much. Yeah, well, now just do those, the top ones. No, fully dark then.
Lights off.
Off. Off. Yeah. Whoa. Okay, Simon, thank you. Take it away.
Take it away. Right. That's me, Simon Runting. I was going to tell you a little bit about myself first before we get into the birds. So you get a bit of a background. This is me. I spent many years in London as a press photographer. You'll see me up at the top there. I think if that works, that's me there. Big case in London. Very, very busy times. And I worked for the Sun newspaper, the infamous Sun. I did a lot of their foreign stories all around the world. I spent an awful lot of Rupert Murdoch's money in very nice hotels. That's had to sneak into a Bangkok prison for that one. That's me with the Page 3 girls. I'll just leave that up there for half an hour. I should say I'm only here by default. Kate, my partner, was due to talk, but didn't manage to get a bottom of the gear. But there you go. This is the miners' strike in the early 80s in the UK. Extensively covered there. So I go back a long way. This is Diana at a sports day. I think she won that race. She won every race she was in, I think. They're all paid off, I think. It's another successful marriage. Very, very popular couple. I did a lot of stuff in Northern Ireland during the Troubles in the mid-80s. That was a good fun time. Bombs going off, that sort of malarkey. And then I came here. Freelanced here for the UK papers, based here, and the American magazines. Lovely David Beckham. There he is. One for the ladies. Yeah, that's right. I've done cards of this one. I was one of the official photographers during APEC. Done lots of show busy stuff. He's back soon. We haven't got tickets, have we? Not yet, right. And various commercial stuff. Sarah Ed at home in his fabulous office. And that's me with my gear. I do mostly commercial stuff, big industrial photography projects. I do a Waitakere photography, a bit of Fulton Hogan, that sort of stuff, amongst other clients. This is the Waitakere drought. A lot of construction site stuff, lots of all working through the night on concrete pours. Always makes cool pictures though. That is in the Central Interceptor sewage pipe, which is 16 kilometres long and running underneath Auckland, nearly finished. So I spent the last 6 or 7 years documenting this all the way through. Now that is in Parnell, about 30 metres underground. That's live. It's a live sewer at 3 o'clock in the morning. That guy is in waders repairing the tunnel work down there. A hell of a job. There they are. I'm lying over the live sewer as it's going through to shoot this. Yeah, it's great fun. 30 metres down. That's good. That's dismantling the Central Interceptor tunnel boring machine at Point Erin. So you get to do some pretty cool stuff. Some of the workers, the guy in the middle, I've photographed him on so many projects. He's just got an amazing face. That's me down the bottom of a 70-metre shaft. Toys. Yeah. And one of my other cameras, yeah. Dawn Blessings, every time they did started to open up a shaft before any earth was excavated. They had a karakia for the site. Oh, hang on, back. Oh.
Maybe put one more back and then come in.
Okay. Yeah, the birds. Yeah, I love this bird. So I'll be rattling through the pictures quite quickly, but I will stop on a few and tell you a few stories about them. But so I know not everybody here is photographers, so it's sort of talking to other people as well. So that's me as a cute little kid with a baby cuckoo. So I've always been a bird fanatic, really. That's me on the beach with Chappie. Camouflage is the main thing with this to make sure you blend in. That's me working away.
Where?
It's not actually just a picture of some rocks. That's me. That's at Mill Bay. There's some reef herons there that breed there. For the photographers, angle is the key. You've got to get really, really low as possible for these, especially the wading birds. And you just drop the background out, and the birds just pop out. And nice and close as well. There's a spot in Manukau where I go in and just sit myself in a mangrove tree and just sit there and cover myself up at high tide. So I'm at about a foot of water. And as the water goes out, the herons fly in, and they'll come like 3-4 feet away. Okay, with that really low angle, your lens has basically got to be touching the water. Little dab chick, one of my favourite things to photograph. That's a juvenile black-backed gull. That was Te Henga. That's a reef heron, quite a rare bird. They're extraordinary looking things. They're like a velociraptor of the bird world, these things. Really, really menacing looking things. Super close. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just an example. You don't have to go to Costa Rica and places like that to get cool photos. This was taken a couple of weeks ago in a flooded car park at Shakespeare Regional Park. That's in the car park.
Wow.
And the red bit behind, that's somebody who's got a big red holdall they've got out the back of their car. So I just sort of lined that up. Just add a bit of colour. I love photographing in the rain. Rain, sandstorms, birds don't care, they just carry on, and it always makes quite cool pictures.
One good thing about days like this,
so that's what I'm out in. That was a tropical rainstorm at Western Springs. It just absolutely hosed down.
Mm.
Nice breeding plumage. That's a sandstorm.
He's not enjoying it.
No, it's just that horrible height for the birds, isn't it? And I get no, it's not real good for the camera either. I took a lens back to Canon once, 500mm, and they said, well, you can tell you've been on the west coast and the east coast because inside the lens is black sand and yellow sand. That was just at not far from here, actually. One of the ponds around the back of Henderson. You can adjust your shutter speed so you can get the raindrops slicing down.
Who did you say?
That's a welcome swallow. I always try and catch the little raindrops popping up.
Little cheeks.
Dad chick. The little chick, they're about the size of a ping pong ball when they first come out, and they're just incredible looking things. I love photographing those. Happy looking welcome swallow. It's quite a clean one, that one, isn't it? It must be the rain. That was a sandstorm down in Christchurch a few weeks ago. Juvenile blackback gull. That's your pied shag. Light and colour. Early morning, the beautiful colour for the last sort of, even before sunrise and up to about an hour afterwards, this colour, light in sunshine really, really works well. And people often say to me, I don't have the patience to be a bird photographer. Well, nor do I. You've got to go at the right time, work out the tides, wind direction, time of day. So I'll only be there for an hour and I'm having coffee by 8 o'clock. I came over the hill at Western Springs, was walking down the bank, and it was before sunrise, just about to come up, and that orange light is a council truck in the background, and it lined up perfectly. Oh, wow. So I just dived down there and just lined up, and they kept moving, so I had to keep moving to line the birds up with the truck. It's that golden light just on sunrise. And, you know, super low, I'm laying in the grass. Now these, again, this is really a sunrise on the lake in Albany. All the little colour spots are midges on the water that the sun has hit the wings on the midges and just lit up like rainbows. Okay, on the beach, super low. And this is a weird effect on still days. Again, on sunrise, light shooting straight into the light, you get that shimmering look. I've only seen it a few times, but it works amazingly well. You just get those, it's like a veil of light that comes down.
Wow.
Yeah, I only photographed the males, so I feel really bad about it because the males have really, really bright amber eyes, and the females have like a dull brown eye. So it's like, get out of the way, God. I feel quite bad about that every time I do it. But I continue to do it. This was a traffic light. Yeah, and I spotted it. I thought, oh, trying to line up, and I was trying for the green, but so I was lining up like this to the green, and up for the amber, then up for the red, but the red worked best. So
why was it so close to the traffic light?
it wasn't that close. It's probably about 30 meters from the traffic light, but this is at Mangere Causeway, the Hockatutu Causeway. There's some traffic lights there, and it was just sat on some fencing.
And what bird is it?
It's a little pied shag. Yeah. It's a welcome swallow. Again, just chasing that early morning colour, and it's only around for 15 minutes. Got to find your bird in that time. Yeah, quite still. This always, I think it looks as though I've taken this in Africa, but it was just at Western Springs. Before sunrise, you get that lovely pinky glow in the sky.
You better tell people what it is.
It's a
Some
it's
people
a
won't know.
royal spoonbill, and there's some more of them. Again, that was at Western Springs, and the spring water comes into the centre of the lake in that spot, and they all sit there and preen. But 9 times out of 10, they're all asleep. They've got their beaks in their wings and stuff like that, and they're never all alert. And I sort of lined it all up, and I thought, that's quite a nice picture with the mist and everything. And all of a sudden, something must have happened. I didn't know what it was. All of a sudden, they all looked up. It's like 3 seconds. I thought, okay, that'll do. Thank you. Never seen it again. This is again, this is artificial light, some street lights in behind way before sunrise, but with the modern technology these days, this is shot at 15,000-20,000 ISO, really, really high ISO. So you can camera technology has moved so much, even in the last 5 years. I'm doing pictures now that I couldn't have done 5-10 years ago.
And you don't edit much, I understand.
Sorry?
You don't edit much?
No,
Not at all.
I don't take anything out of the pictures, backgrounds, or anything like that. It's just very little photoshopping. I try and get it right when I'm shooting it.
How much colour do you do?
Not much. Most of these pictures were taken on Fuji. I've just switched to Sony, so I'm just toning Sony images down a little bit to try and match the Fuji colours. But I mean, you don't have to do much tweaking with these. They're just, that's what they are.
It's a swan.
Yeah, it's a black swan. Yeah, I kept creeping closer and closer. I'm just hoping it wasn't going to. They quite often just get their heads up and shake and then put them down again in the rain. And I got really, really close in the end, but I started off miles away. But it's not Kate's favourite, though, is it? It said to single you out, don't they, when we were out there? You out of a crowd. It's a variable oyster catcher, I think. I spent a lot of time at Muriwai. Fabulous place. So that's sunset, sunrise and sunset. They're both very, very good. That's a sunset picture.
So how many pictures do you take to get one like this?
A few hundred on that. Sometimes I'll sit there and I'll just concentrate on one bird. But I've got a what's called a Sony A9 III camera body, and that does 120 frames a second. 120 frames a second, and I was shooting some seagulls washing the other day. I got back and I'd shot 16,000. 16,000, and I whittled it down to about 9. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I've got fast editing, so I can whip through it really, really quickly. But I have a sequence. I've got a seagull's head going into water and out, and you've got 200 frames of that. And if it's slightly not the way, just dump the whole lot. So I know exactly the picture I'm looking for. Yeah. It's not quite getting it. The kingfisher. That's at Mangere Bridge.
Oh,
Cacao coming towards me like a dinosaur.
yeah.
May or may not put some cat biscuits down. I can't remember on that. More spoonbills. I spent 45 minutes. There were so many rainbows this morning, but all the spoonbills were asleep. And I kept lining the rainbow up, asleep, lining the rainbow, all asleep. And eventually one woke up. I was like, that'll do. Thank you. I need a hooter or something, really. Another sunset. Another gannet. I must do more of these actually. This is them coming back in the evening, back to the colony. I think this was shot at Bethel's, Te Henga. That's Te Henga as well. Just picking out something a little bit different, not just a bird on a stick. Again, working on that light. We're going to lose this now. I think Doc are taking the bottom platform away. Muriwai, which is an absolute disaster, really. That's Muriwai is, I think, a unique place in the world where you can get within a metre to a big seabird. You just can't do that anywhere in the world. Galapagos Islands, none of those places can you get that close. And these are the pictures you get doing that, but I think we've lost it this year. So
It's the health and safety.
they are so risk averse. I spoke to a couple of rangers. They said, well, we want to give more room for the birds to nest, but there's heaps of room down there. There's loads of space. And the first nesting spots that go are always the ones close to the platform, because with the people around, it keeps the gulls away. Then they're the safest spots. They've got more shelter there and everything. So
That's City Council.
it's always a combination of regional council, DOC, and again, this is the light coming through the platform wood. So it shafts through just on sunset. Just you get lovely shafts of light hitting the gannets, or did. Again, that's that really amazing light that you occasionally get. And it's amazing to watch those, the shape of the head, and then this shimmer of light just goes across the frame. It's beautiful. That's a probably pretty quick. That's probably, even though it's early, it's probably 2,000th of a second. The what? Yeah, this is just the light on it. It has to be really, really still, but this is just each droplet reflecting on the water. It's amazing, amazing to see. Really low, yeah, like on the water. Yeah, if I'm not going home with the wet lens hood, I haven't done it well. So yeah, it's just super close. And they don't have to be spectacular birds. This is just a red-billed gull. Everybody sees these every day, but they're beautiful birds to photograph. I plan a lot of stuff, but sometimes you do get lucky. This is hung a stick in the bush, and in the winter there was a 15-minute spell when the light just hit that and nothing else, and it took me about 5 weeks to get a tui on it. To go out there and I'd say, all right, I'll give it 20 minutes, give it 20 minutes. Eventually got it. And it's just that real hard light. And this is Western Springs. So with the planning, I know that if the wind's about 50 kilometers on a westerly wind, the waves will be licking up on Western Springs, and I can go in the afternoon, the light's going to be right, and I'm going to get the coots surfing through the waves. Okay, Muriwai, sunset. So I'm laying, that bird is probably 1.5 meters away, but it's a super wide lens. So I'm laying down, shooting up as the birds are coming over on a really strong sou'wester, so they're coming really low and really slow. Well, so partly slow, and I've got two flash guns lighting up underneath as they come in to give it some light underneath it. It took me 2 years to work out how to do these pictures. Again, Muriwai, moon setting across a colony. Difficult to shoot, technically difficult to shoot as well. That's one of my favourite pictures. I've got one of those that's in the bedroom. That one. Now, remember Hitchcock with the birds? See the outline of the face?
Oh.
So I shot that and I thought, that's a face. And I thought, because the starling was in it and everybody was facing the other way, and I thought, turn around. And eventually turned around and looked up, because I was looking up into the face, and I thought, rings a bell, that face. And I was driving home and I thought, God, it's bloody Alfred Hitchcock, isn't it? That's what it is. So, yeah.
It's a little shag on there.
It's a starling, actually. Yeah, just a little starling, yeah. Going the wrong way now. There he is, yeah. Spoonbills, they're great to photograph. This was taken in Napier. I was on the way to the airport. I've been down there on a job, and my friend was driving me back to the airport, and there's right near the airport there's all sorts of lagoons and ponds and stuff. We're driving along one of the big ponds. There were 2 spoonbills feeding right by the road. I said to John, I said, look, go down that side track. If they don't spook, I'll get out and do some pictures. So we pulled off, drove down the track, parked up, and they didn't spook. So I thought, right. And I was dressed like this. I grabbed the lens and I crawled through the mud for 20 metres, parted the sedges, and they sort of like noticed me, but then settled back down feeding. So I shot heaps of pictures. In 20 minutes, I got some amazing pictures. Got back to the car, and John said, what are you going to do? And I had a complete change of clothes because I've been there for 3 days. So he I took all my clothes off on the side of the road, put them in the bin bag, changed, and then just went off to the airport. Right. Yeah, you can see the little fish or whatever it was in there. Yeah. I don't know how they pick them up. They feed so fast. They whack through the water so fast, and they can sense the tiniest little thing. You can see the speed it's scything through. Oh, so grumpy duck. Again, it has to be the right type of rain. I know it sounds odd, but it has to be the right type of weather and the right type of rain for that to work.
Right sex.
Yeah. Right sex, yeah.
Water affects me.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's stay.
This always makes me laugh, this one. I had a business card made up with that. Black-fronted dotterel. These birds, if you don't know, are they're about this big. They're tiny, tiny little things. And I was facing the other way. This was on the Wairau River, and I was photographing terns coming in and feeding into pools. There's fish in the pools right in front of me. So, and I heard this dotterel fly over. I thought, that's a dotterel back behind me. So I civvied round. I was all covered in camo gear, but it was up the bank about a metre, and it wasn't in a good spot. And then all these giant pebbles were down there. I thought, if that bird just runs down that bank and just stops there, that's going to be great. So I was sitting there watching it, and it went, it just stopped in the right place for about 3 seconds, and then it was off. This is a picture I chased for ages. When this is a juvenile red-billed gull, when they wash, they put their head underwater and they push a veil of water up, so you can see the face through the water. But it has to be shot front on to work, and it took me ages and ages and ages to get that, but I eventually got it. And that won a Sony Nature Award in 21, International Award.
Yeah,
That's Te Henga. You've got to learn bird behaviour as well. I love photographing birds preening, and I know exactly what they're going to do and their whole pattern. I know when that dotterel is going to do its little jump after the preening. I know them so well now that I can predict exactly what they're going to do. So that makes I know what picture I want and how I can be in the right place to get it. I bought a lens for this picture. Biltrops brought out 75mm 1.2 lens with a very, very tiny, shallow depth of field, and I thought so I bought one of those just to do this picture. So you just got the eyes in focus, and everything else is completely blown out. Dab chick falling off the back. Again, red-billed gull, you know, it's just, yeah, great birds.
Oh.
This was the most annoying Pakeko in the world. I got into a swamp at Shakespeare Regional Park to photograph a spotless crake really early in the morning. I was completely camoed up. And the crakes was just starting to come out, and then this bloody Pakeko just sort of walked right across, sat in front of me. I couldn't scare it off or anything, so he just sat there, but then it started preening, and then it just did this ridiculous thing where it just poked its head right underneath and just sitting there watching me. So that really made quite a picture. Better than the spotless crake pictures. Another compulsory dab check. Black swan, simple picture. They feed underwater and they pull their head up out of the water and shoot it as the head's coming up. Detail. Again, that's red-billed gull from the back. That's just as the end of its wings shooting directly into it. Picking the feather detail up. Again, early in the morning. Sorry? Vaping, yeah, it could be, yeah. It'd give me more chance to shoot it if I had been vaping, but yeah. Again, just predicting where the focus point is, because autofocus, sometimes you have to use manual focus and just predict where the beak is going to be. That it's probably taken on a 600mm. I really like this picture. This is the down from the gannet chicks caught in the fencing. The detail is amazing. Again, out in the rain. Now this bird was so close, I was laying down on the footpath at Muriwai and it landed on my back, completely right in the middle of the back, oomph. And then just sort of like rolled over and sat next to me. So I've got a gannet's head here. So I just edged away about a metre and just laid there, and it just stayed there and just ruffled its feathers and stuff. And eventually just started preening. I thought, well, I'm way too close. I've got a 200mm lens on. But I had there's a little thing in my pocket called a like a macro extender. So you can put that on and it reduces the focal length of the lens, so the close focus point. So I'm only 1.5 meters away, and that is full frame on the camera. That's all I could see.
Must be just part of the furniture.
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah.
They think you're a rock or something.
Yeah, I don't know what they thought. Probably a seal. I think that was a New Zealand Geo winner for something or other. That's a tui, poi feather, just loose. Again, it's a simple bird. It's a coot, and there's just a shaft of light coming through. Just lit it up. I hadn't bothered with this. I just sort of looked at it because the head was in shadow, but then it kept pulling its leg up and the drops were coming off. I thought, that might work. Again, that's a gannet chick from above looking down. So it looks like a Muriwai, like a feather cloak. That's a very dangerous position to be underneath a white-fronted tern. That's again the back of a gannet chick. Just flip the picture up because it just looks to me like a flock of birds taking off. I have a strange mind. Again, real close-up stuff. That one, using the Geo thing. This was shot in Cape Kidnappers, actually. This little spider was running around at a speed I've never seen a spider run, and it was just all over the head of this gannet. So I thought, I've got to get that. And all I got was 3 frames. I spent 15 minutes with this thing, and it ran around, disappeared, and come around again, and that's the best frame out of it. But I don't know if that's an Australian spider coming in, but yeah, so again, we go back to bird on a stick. Don't just get a picture of a bird on a stick. Get them doing stuff. Get them in action. They're always doing things. So that's a pied still, feeding on fish. That was a really difficult picture to take. They sucked those daisies down at a hell of a speed. They're such a cool little bird. Again, early morning light, real harsh light. It's a coot, a wash. Yeah. More preening. I think he's looking at me at the same time, I think. Courtship display. Delivering a fish to the wife. Fish wife, that's probably where that came from. Early morning heron stuff. Reef heron. I just love these birds. They're just so menacing.
Menacing.
Yeah, I find them really menacing. Yeah, it's the way they act and where they feed, and yeah. The look on his face as well. Take no prisoners.
Whoa.
Dying seconds of a crab. Again, this is probably taken on that camera 120 frames a second because they used to get a split second There's no photoshopping on that. It looks like the water is, you know, blurred out and the thing. No, that's as it's just flying out and stopped at that point. So black swan, have a bit of a shake.
It's an alga. So
Yeah, that's the weed they're feeding on, I think. Yeah, the green stuff. Yeah. Kahu with a starling. Yeah. I did an experiment. I put 4 different species out on the side road.
I've been placed there.
Yeah, and starling, they always take starling first. It's amazing. They're obviously very tasty birds. So if you're ever stuck in the bush and you're starving, go for starling. Swallow. Ballet dabchick. Again, it's just that light. You've just got to work the light. They've got yellow soles. Have you noticed? I've never noticed that before I took that picture, but that is a high-speed picture to take. They come in at a hell of a rate, these things.
What sort of shutter speed is there?
Probably 8,000 per second, I think. You don't really need a super fast shutter speed for flying stuff, but again, 1600 per second up. But you can, if you want a little bit of movement in the wings, you can drop it. But anything really, because there's movement on that, on the wing here, which I don't mind on these, you know, because it just adds a little bit of movement to a bit of action. Yeah, it's flying right past the platform. One for you, Brian. Action shot, yeah, sandhopper. Last 9 seconds of a sandhopper.
Oh.
Now, it took me ages to get this picture. I'd seen it 3 or 4 times, and I either had a too long lens on, or it happened in the wrong spot, and then it happened right in front of me once. But I'd given my camera, the lens, to a friend of mine. He said, "Let me try that out." So I gave him the lens, and this thing kicked off right in front of us. And I'm on a 600mm 2 times, and I really wanted like 400mm. It was like 10 meters away, and I go, "Chris, shoot it, Chris!" He's going, and it missed it. So I was like, so eventually, but then I eventually got it, luckily enough. I got a sequence of probably about 200 frames of this dabchick. I mean, they're half the size of a coot. And I've seen them attack swans and everything. They're absolutely so protective of the chicks. Yeah, really amazing birds. And I always try and get some kind of emotion with my pictures. So you look at it and go, "Oh, that's nice." And I always think that I try and take a picture that somebody who's not into birds would look at the picture and go, "Oh, mind that on the wall, actually." But that's quite nice, just as a piece of artwork. That's a male school again. No females. No females were hurt in the making of this film.
Whoa.
Again, slightly grumpy look to it. Chubby dotterel. Oh, pretty close. Yeah, you know what they're like. They come up to you and just sit there and stare at you. Yeah. But getting that 100% straight on. It's like a crown on that one. Baby gannet. Again, the eyes. It's very difficult to tell the sexes with gannets. I think the one on the left is a male and the one on the right is a female. He's got back late one night. Yeah.
Oh.
face only a mother could love.
What's that?
That is a baby coot.
Ah.
Yeah, amazing thing. So they stay like that for about a week and a half with that sort of fiery red head. Amazing looking birds. There's my boiled eggs. Gannets asleep. More dead chicks. I shot that only a few weeks ago at Te Henga. It was just, the wind was just in the right direction, so it was ruffling all the feathers up. I got a whole sequence of stuff. It's just really nice. A dress. That's a baby ruru. That was shot at Bird Waitakere. I wanted to take that home actually. These are the pictures I really like taking, the sort of quite arty looking pictures. That's a gannet asleep, sleeping. Running dotterels. Again, just trying to get that emotion, you know, into the pictures. There's a dad chick.
Really?
Yeah. In the rain, like there are droplets coming up and stuff. So.
Oh,
Dad chick.
gosh.
Yeah. And a dad chick. But again, with camera technology, it's probably a 600mm to 2x converter, so a 1200mm lens. I mean, that bird is literally that big, tiny thing. Getting told off. And Pukeko chicks are quite cool as well. That's the closest thing you'll get to a mower, I think. Again, that sort of emotion. That chick. Now this was this won me a few awards. This picture. This was a gannet. I spent an hour watching this bird with its mates, just hopping around it. It was pecking at it, trying to lift its wings and all sorts of stuff, just dancing around it. And out of all the frames, I think that was the one that sort of captured it best. Just looking down at it.
How made it die?
Don't know. There's a pretty low attrition rate out at Muriwai. They're pretty good. There's sometimes it's just old age. They hit the water so often, don't they? They go blind and stuff. So. So this is near the end now. So if all else fails, bring your own duck. I think that might be a female, is it? No, it's a male. So I think it had botulism actually. I picked it up at Western Springs and took it to Bird Waitakere. That's me.
Wow.
Any questions? Don't. Yes.
Yeah.
How
Light.
many photos for competitions? Do you judge it on what do you?
I put a fair bit of stuff on Instagram and I'll just go through that and I think, well, that's quite a cool picture. And Kate's pretty good as well. Kate's the next picture and she says, oh, enter this. And I go, I wasn't going to enter that. She goes, no, that's so she's really good at picking stuff for me.
Light person at the back.
Lights,
John, could you turn the light on? No. Yay!
Oh.
Bring your own.
Any other questions?
What's your most common overlap?
Sorry?
What's the most common overlap?
Sorry, the what?
The most common overlap that you
Probably just changed from Fuji to Sony. So when I was on Fuji, they do a 500mm, which because of the crop factor, it makes it 750. So that's my most common lens. But some of this stuff is shot wider than that, 200mm stuff. But, so now I'm on a 600. Most of the time. birds have a like a safety zone that, and each species is different. So some birds will be happy when you're 5 meters away. Some birds are only happy when you're 25 meters away, and they'll act differently the distance you are. You think that they're doing their normal stuff, but they're not. And you go 10 meters away, and they'll relax a bit more. I've photographed some spotless crakes. Somebody said, "Oh, come with me, I've got a spotless crake." We turned up at this little swamp, and he said, "Oh, just sit there," because they come out. And I said, "Well, you covered up or in hiding?" He said, "No, they come out, they do their things." But so I sat there with him, and they sort of look at the reeds, and they just belt across the sort of open area back into the reeds. He said, "There you go." Right. So he eventually left. As I went back to the car, got the camo gear, came in, covered up and stuff, and then within half an hour they're feeding out right in front of me. So they know you're there, but they have a little safety zone. You've got to work out how you can get into that area.
They must be hard because you didn't have any photos of them. In the year, they must be different.
What, the spotless crakes?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got lots, but I just had to whittle it down to sort of things that would appeal to a. There's I've got spotless crake chicks, which are just jet black. It's a jet black ping pong ball with hair. They're just amazing things. They're tiny, they're this big.
Do you have a favourite bird? Yep, chick.
Well, my favourite bird is a song thrush, because I reared so many in the UK, but I've got the gannets.
Song is just
Yeah, they're great little birds. And more of them here than there are in the UK now. They're just disappearing a bit. Too many hawks and sparrowhawks, raptors.
When you say your favourite bird, not your favourite bird photograph, just your favourite.
Yeah, song thrush is my favourite bird. Probably the gannet to photograph.
Giants.
Mm.
And it's the most prolific thrushes.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I've seen bird.
Must be a lot of snails there.
Yeah. So, absolutely. Just deafening with song.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Worth remembering. Yeah.
Yeah.
What bird's on your list and you haven't had the perfect picture of yet?
The falcons, I think. So we don't get them up here very often. So whenever I'm down south and I hear them, difficult to get. Need to sort of be a bit lucky, I think.
Lots of photographers here.
Come
Not
on,
many
let's get some
photography
technical
pictures.
questions.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your shutter speed? What's your ISO?
Sorry, I'm just curious why you moved from Fuji to Sony.
I did all of my work on the Fuji gear, and it was coming to the end of its sort of natural life, really. And Sony approached me. They gave me, because I won a Sony award, so they gave me a camera and stuff to play around with. And they were encouraging me to switch over, so they made me a massive financial deal to buy a whole new gear. And then I drowned a Fuji camera a few weeks ago as well on the Henga. I slipped over at Kakamatua and dunked some gear there. So that was the point, because I really liked the Fuji colours and I was sort of wavering on what to do. But then I had a lump of money to either reinvest in Fuji or go to Sony. So it just seemed an ideal time to go to Sony. So because it's the AF, the autofocus is so much better and high ISO for work. I do a lot of low light underground stuff, so I can shoot at 5,000-10,000 ISO without any worries at all with the Sony. It's just like 400 ISO. It's incredible. So I still don't like the colours, but yeah.
Which Sony?
I've got 2 A1s and a A93. A1-2s, I think.
Do you prefer
Electronic, yeah, because that's the only way you can shoot it. The fast sequences and stuff, but you don't always need it. And it's quiet as well. You can shoot on totally silent, which I hate doing. So I've got no idea what I'm shooting on. Did I get there? I don't know. Did I? So I always have like a little tiny little noise, and that works quite well, especially the dotterel. So if you shoot like that, if you're close to a dotterel and you're shooting with the electronic shutter and making that tiny little pinging noise, and the herons as well. If I'm really close, I'm 2 meters away from the heron, you do that little clicking noise. Then I burst out laughing and the thing flies off. I do a fair bit of stuff at Western Springs, just because it's easy. I mean, I can do it if I get a job in town. I just think, oh, sunrise, what's the wind direction? I'll just go and spend half an hour there. And there's heaps of birds. There's always somewhere there, whatever time of day the light sort of works. But anyway, really, Wenderholm, Waiwera, Te Henga, yeah, Muriwai. Whitford, there's some great spots in Whitford, Airley's Gardens, yeah, and the mud flats there. There's heaps of dotterels, and, you know, black-billed gulls, yeah. Any other questions, or is it sausage roll time?
I noticed you were using Canon.
Yeah.
So why did you drift away from Canon?
I switched from Canon to Fuji because Canon were too slow to go mirrorless. Mirrorless cameras, so they just weren't getting it. Bottom of the gear. And then they priced themselves out of the market, really, I think, for what standard kit, you know, 7200 and stuff, and they bought the RF stuff, and it was just getting way too expensive for a basic kit, really. Fuji were good. Fuji were good to me, and I only emailed them last week to say, oh, switched to Sony, and they were really nice. They wrote a lovely letter back. So, and I've got to do a talk for Fuji at the end of June, so they still want me to do that. So, either that, they let me in, or put me in a stake and burn me. I don't know. So I've done quite a lot of promo stuff for Fuji. So.
No more questions?
Was it you who came up with that float for the lens?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and I do it.
Is it selective or was it a prototype?
HMS Fuji. No, I have used it a few times. I built this float for the camera, so I could actually put it on the lake and just not remotely, but just hold it, so it puts the camera at perfect water level. So I can just twist it round, because if you can't lean over and get there or sit in the water, it's really awkward. You still do need to be that far off the water. So I built this thing from Bunnings with some float tube type stuff. The Mark 1 I nearly lost a 300-2.8, that nearly flipped over. And Mark 2 I had 2 lots of pool noodles around it, and that was much better. But then I had a giant eel come over the top on one side on that, and then that pulled that side down. So it's fraught with problems, and with my recent insurance claim, I don't think I'm gonna stay away from water for a while, but I will get that going. It's a good bit of kit. So I have just lean over, and I've got a little handle on it, and I have a monitor so I can see rather than having the screen flipped out. So I've got a big monitor on it, and then a cable release. So you're just going, oh, you're watching TV. Yeah, that works really well.
So can you describe the flash?
Yeah, and now it's 4 pieces of doweling with a little corner piece. So it's about this big, so it's about like that. And then it's got 4 pool noodles cable tied on. So, I mean, it doesn't look very good, but then I've got a sliding video frame on it, so I can clamp the camera on and move it into position. But it's really low. So, and I've got a small rig cage on the camera, so I can attach bits and pieces to it. Yeah. It's fun.
With water rather than forest?
I think it makes better pictures on water there, because if they're on the water, they're doing something, they're feeding and stuff. Whereas the forest, you get back to basically a bird on a stick. Because if they're in the forest, if you're photographing a tree, they're just standing there. Or if they're feeding, they're in the leaf litter and that sort of stuff, or they're feeding on berries. But I think water, we've got lots of water here as well, so yeah, it adds another dimension.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
We did some sausage rolls as well, so if you want to look at
No,
that,
first, big hand. Thank you.